Y News with Angelo Castro III, William Theo, and Rina Villamor Camara.
Good evening. The four Caloocan policemen who were allegedly involved in the killing of 17-year-old Kian Lloyd de los Santos were charged with murder. Meanwhile, the victim's parents and two witnesses were placed under the Witness Protection Program. Roderick Mendoza will tell us why.
The Caloocan policemen who were allegedly involved in the killing of Kian Lloyd de los Santos are now facing murder charges. Kian's parents today filed formal complaints before the Department of Justice against PO3 Arnel Juarez, PO1 Jarwin Cruz, and PO1 Jeremias Pereda. Precinct Commander Chief Inspector Amor Cirillo was charged as well, along with other unidentified policemen who also participated in the operation.
First case is murder because of the presence of treachery and abuse of superior strength. Sino po ba naman ang makakaalam na babaraling ka sa likod ng tenga mo? Ang likod ng tenga ay bahagi pa rin ng back portion of the head, back portion of the body. So, treacherous pa rin yun.
A separate complaint for torture was also filed against Juarez, Cruz, and Pereda for allegedly choking, hitting, and forcibly dragging the victim. Kian's uncle, Randy de los Santos, and a certain Choleng are among the witnesses. Choleng supposedly saw PO1 Cruz and PO1 Pereda drag the victim. She claims to have spoken with Pereda, who allegedly admitted killing the victim after he resisted the authorities.
At nakita niya yung mga muka ng mga pulis. Okay. So, positively identified po niya, kaya malakas.
The witnesses and the victim's parents were given temporary admission to the Witness Protection Program. The Public Attorney's Office also wants to get the statements of the witnesses who are now under Senate custody to further strengthen the case against the policemen. Roderick Mendoza, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
Some senators will push to compel the Department of Justice to inhibit in the investigation of Kian de los Santos slay case. Nel Maribohok will tell us why.
The three witnesses in the Kian de los Santos killing will remain under the protective custody of the Senate. According to Senator Risa Ontiveros, the guardians and parents have already given their approval on the custody.
Ako po ang tatanungin sa akin po wala namang problema. Ginagala ko po ang desisyon po ng anak ko. Kung ano po yung desisyon niya dahil siya po ang magtitistigo.
Some senators will also compel the Department of Justice to inhibit from the investigation on the said case. In connection with this, a complaint against Secretary Aguirre is now underway to force the DOJ to not meddle in the probe.
Pinag-aaralan namin ang paghain ng kaso para makompel si Secretary na mag-inhibit at sa local courts namin ito i-refer.
According to Senate Minority Leader Franklin Drilon, it is obvious that the DOJ may possibly be influenced the case against the policemen involved in the crime. In response to the issue, Secretary Aguirre says he is ready to inhibit in the probe if Senator Hontiveros will not also meddle in the case. Nel Maribohok, UNTV News and Rescue, Pasay City.
Makabayan Congressman urged President Rodrigo Duterte to suspend the anti-illegal drugs operation once again. Grace Casin will tell us why.
Members of the Makabayan bloc in the House of Representatives believe that the rising number of people killed in the anti-illegal drugs operation of the Philippine National Police is not a joke anymore. The death of grade 11 student Kian Lloyd de los Santos, who was labeled by the police as a drug courier, highlighted the scenario. This is why the group calls on President Rodrigo Duterte to once again suspend the anti-illegal drugs operation. They said the president has done this before when Korean businessman Jake Ju was killed inside the Camp Crame.
Bakit hindi magawa? Ngayong ang napatay ay isang inosenteng kababayan natin, isang Pilipino na minor de edad, 17 years old.
The president, however, doesn't seem to be inclined to stop the said project.
But I will not change my policy. There will be war against drugs because I have to protect my oath to buhay. The the mass of population, ang mga walang tao marami, I have that sworn duty to defend the people and protect the republic.
Meanwhile, the PNP has this to say regarding the matter.
Our operating units are taking the cue from the words of the President that our anti-drug operation is unrelenting. So we just continue since day one of this administration. The intensity of our anti-drug campaign is the same, Your Honor.
5 resolutions were filed in the lower house calling for the investigation on the increasing number of suspected drug personalities' death.
Kung ang mga komite dito sa House ay nagkakandak ng mga public hearings sa mga importanteng issues din, no? Sa tingin ko, dapat dinggin din ito, imbestigahan din ito. Ito ay walang mas malala pa nga, no, doon sa ibang mga usapin na dinidinig dito sa Kamara.
Grace Casin, UNTV News and Rescue, House of Representatives.
Meanwhile, the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group, or CIDG, admits having a hard time with their investigation on the Kian de los Santos Slay case. Mon Hokson will tell us why.
Various groups are conducting investigations on the killing of Kian Lloyd de los Santos. Among these groups are the Public Attorney's Office, the PNP Internal Affairs Service, and the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group, or CIDG. However, the CIDG, who has been assigned by no less than President Rodrigo Duterte, as some of the witnesses are not being cooperative. CIDG Director Roel Obusan says his unit has completed gathering physical evidence that includes results of the ballistic exam, autopsy, and paraffin tests. General Obusan adds, it is very important to be able to speak with the witnesses in the incident to complete the necessary information. The only problem now is the investigators were not allowed by Senator Risa Ontiveros to speak with the witnesses when they were still under the lady senator's custody.
Sa evidence namin ngayon, ang available pa lang sa amin ay yung mga physical evidences like soko, ballistics, ladders. Pero itong mga binanggit ko are but tools of investigation. We wanted to have the testimonies kasi napaka-important yun to corroborate yung mga physical evidences.
Senator Ontiveros, on the other hand, says she only wants to assure that any of the witnesses will not be affected.
Nababahala lang ako, parang merong unseen forces na gumagalaw para i-undermine yung mga testigo mismo.
The CIDG clarifies it is not against the fact that there are several parties conducting the investigation, since this could help unearth the truth behind the killing. The CIDG prosecutor will be gathering all information from these investigations to form strong evidence and file the necessary charges. General Obusan stresses that even if they will not be allowed to speak to the witnesses, they are still prepared in case their contribution will be needed.
I will continue with the investigation. Ready to assist kung kailangan ng NBI at kung kinakailangan na pwede yung isasampa namin para may consolidate ng prosecutor lahat ng issues.
To date, the witnesses are under the Senate's custody. The Public Attorney's Office also has in its custody one of the witnesses in the incident. The policemen involved in the case are now faced with administrative cases. Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue, Camp Crame.
Malacanang says that the war against illegal drugs of the Duterte administration is not a license to break the law. Presidential spokesperson Ernesto Abella says President Rodrigo Duterte has already directed fair and impartial investigation on the death of Kian de los Santos and that the president will not tolerate any wrongdoing of the policemen. However, Malacanang reiterates that this incident will not stop the government from resolving criminality and illegal drugs in the country. The administration, who considers the Kian case as a wake-up call for law enforcement reforms, also reminds the policemen to follow existing PNP policies and operational procedures, particularly the rule of law and due process. The Department of Health, or DOH, allays the public fears and concerns regarding the bird flu virus scare. Aiko Miguel will tell us why.
No person has been reportedly diagnosed positive of bird flu virus infection in the country. This is based on the latest report of the Department of Health or DOH. This despite the report about 34 individuals who have been showing flu-like symptoms after taking part in the recent culling operations tested negative of the infection.
34 suspect cases, 30 from Pampanga and 4 from Nueva Ecija. They were promptly placed on isolation as part of the precautionary measures to avert any possible human-to-human transmission of the infection. As of 24 August, yesterday, all were negative for influenza A, H5, and 6.
The health department has designated hospitals in Pampanga and in Nueva Ecija to conduct assessment on suspected cases of bird flu virus infection and to analyze the specimen collected from this. Even the San Lazaro Hospital in Manila and the Lung Center of the Philippines in Quezon City are on heightened alert in case of H5N6 strain transmission to humans.
There's been data that have shown that the transmission from human to human is very rare actually. So even in other countries.
And to show the public that there must be no worries over the consumption of poultry products amid the bird flu virus outbreak in some parts of the country, Health Secretary Polino Bial and representatives from the Bureau of Animal Industry and the RITM simultaneously ate eggs and chicken earlier today. Meanwhile, the Bureau of Animal Industry says studies are underway to find out the origin of the strain to prevent an outbreak. The health experts also reminds the public that if flu-like symptoms are experienced, they must immediately go to any regional epidemiology surveillance units or RESU and DOH regional offices for assessment. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
And Senator Cynthia Villar wants to craft a law on livestock, poultry, and dairy industry development. Grace Cassin will tell us why.
The Philippine government is not prepared for the problems caused by the bird flu virus in the Philippine industry. Many poultry farm owners in Pampanga and Nueva Ecija have suffered losses due to the recent outbreak. This is why Senate Committee on Agriculture Chairperson Cynthia Villar considers drafting a law that will give assistance to poultry farmers in such incidents. Aside from measures to take in case of outbreaks in fowls, there must be help readily available for the affected poultry farm owners and workers.
We will pass a legislation na Livestock, Poultry and Dairy Industry Development Act. Katulad ng ginawa namin sa sugar at coconut, binigyan natin ng budget. We will mandate the budget para hindi naman sila kaawawa.
Senator Villar stresses that of the country's agriculture products, 16% come from the poultry industry and that there must be measures to protect the welfare of the industry.
Ilalagay natin doon kung ano ang dapat na gawin na tulong sa kanila kasi tatanungin naman natin sila kung ano mga problema nila at yun na ilalagay natin sa batas.
Grace Cassin, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
A total of 169,786 chickens and other kinds of fowls have been culled within 6 days of culling operations in 2 towns in Nueva Ecija affected by the bird flu outbreak. About 100,421 quails were culled in the town of Haed, while 69,365 chickens, ducks, and quails were culled in San Isidro. According to Provincial Risk Reduction Management Office Executive Officer Michael Calma, the affected areas are still undergoing disinfection.
Meron na pong mga disinfection na chemicals and materials habang hindi lang po kasi pagkatapos ng culling yung disinfection. Habang nagkakaling, habang nagbabaon ng mga namatay na manok at saka pugo, nagdi-disinfect po. Hindi siya after lang.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines recaptures 2 significant installations in Marawi City. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
The military has been trying to seize from the ISIS-inspired mounted terrorist group the Grand Mosque or the Marawi City Islamic Center. Yesterday morning, The military was able to reclaim the mosque as well as the Marawi police station. Armed Forces of the Philippines Brigadier General Restituto Padilla Jr. says regaining the installations is among their priorities. The military also continues its clearing operations in these installations to ensure that no improvised explosive devices or booby traps are left behind.
So having it under the hands of government provides us the impetus to symbolically say that nakuha na natin yung sentro mismo ng bayan. Ganun din yung Marawi City Police Station kasi ito ay place of authority.
Meanwhile, the military affirms that their commitment and dedication to finally liberate Marawi City from the terrorists is intensified after President Duterte visited them for the third time yesterday. The chief executive entered the main battle area in full battle gear, went straight to the soldiers in the sniper nest, and fired a shot towards the direction of the terrorists. The president also distributed financial assistance, food packs, and watches for the soldiers fighting in the embattled city and ensured his full support to all the troops performing their duty.
What I'm saying is, let us, we have to die. Ako, if I have to die, I will die. Oras-oras naman ang panahon sa buhay na. But I will try to serve you and I will see to it that you are unahin ko tayo.
Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
The National Acupuncture Detoxification Association today conducted ear acupuncture for evacuees in Iligan City. The group aims to help internally displaced persons or IDPs from Marawi City for them to recover physically and emotionally. The group wants to extend help to every child and adult. Magnetic beads are placed inside the ears of children, while needles are used for adults.
Ito din ay para sa kaginhawaan, para din makatulong sa inyo, sa tulog nyo, sa katawan nyo. Kasi yung epekto ng ear acupuncture, hindi lang po siya sa physical, pero kahit sa mental tsaka emotional. Makakapagbigay ng psychological first aid.
Next on Y News. The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board plans to implement fare adjustment for taxi cabs.
COMELEC Chairman Andres Bautista insists he won't resign despite calls from other poll commissioners.
And the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council places the entire country under red alert for Typhoon Jolina.
Y News will be right back.
The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, or LTFRB, plans to cancel the licenses of airing taxi drivers. Joyce Balancho will tell us why.
To address common complaints of passengers against taxi drivers, the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, or LTFRB, is coordinating with the Land Transportation Office for possible heavier punishment to drivers. During the program Get It Straight with Daniel Rason, LTFRB Chief Martin Delgrad III says they are planning on canceling the licenses of airing drivers. Through this, Delgrad says taxi drivers will refrain from rejecting passengers and charging them with unfair fines.
Kung merong mga pasaway na taxi, siyempre matatamaan yung operator. But in the case of the taxi drivers po, first offense po, 3-month suspension.
Of the
Second,
license?
of the license.
3-month suspension, hindi fine.
Hindi mo fine.
Okay.
Tapos suspension ito, mas masakit.
Oo, kasi hindi ka
makapaghanap buhay. Second offense po, 6-month suspension. Third offense, ikakansela. Ganun yung...
So when will this be
then,
effective po?
We will have it effective as soon as possible.
The LTFRB urges the public to assert their rights as passengers and report immediately to their office any incident of wrongdoings by taxi drivers.
Huwag niyo nang tanungin kung saan kayo pupunta. I have to make a shout out here. Ang nangyayari kasi, there has been a change of social behavior ng mga tao.
Okay.
Na para bang kung hanap ka ng taxi, ang ina-anticipate mo na tatanggihan ka. Pag meron mga ganong klaseng situation, assert your right.
Pero Chairman,
bago kayo magreklamo sa LTFRB.
Pero Chairman, kasi po ganito. Nagtatanong din sila talaga.
Amid all complaints against taxi drivers, the LTFRB says they will be giving out more franchises of taxi cabs. To address the issues against drivers, the LTFRB mandated them to attend the Drivers Academy wherein they are being reminded of the basic traffic rules, road safety, anger management, and proper treatment to passengers. LTFRB plans to make this a requirement to taxi operators before hiring drivers. Joyce Balancho, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board plans to implement fare adjustment for taxi cabs. Jolina will tell us why.
The Land Transportation, Franchising and Regulatory Board has conducted a meeting with taxi operators last Wednesday to tackle issues concerning transport services to passengers. Among the topics also discussed was the petition filed by several taxi operators asking for additional fare. Because of this, the agency is now planning to implement fare adjustment so taxis can get along with the system of transport network vehicle services. Based on the existing fare collection, taxi flag down rate is 40 pesos in the first 100 meter, while 3 pesos and 50 centavos are being added for every 300-meter ride. The same rate will go to every 2-minute waiting time.
It appears that mas marami ho silang waiting time. So even if the taxi is moving 5 kilometers below, it is not the fare that is moving, it is the waiting time. Nakikita na ho namin yung gap na yan, while the other TNCs have the capacity to surge, the taxis wala. Because sa kanila, it is based on flag down, distance traveled and time traveled. But wala ho tayong control sa time pag gumagapang.
LTFRB plans to adjust or shorten the standard distance travel for taxis so that cab drivers' income can cope up with the economic situation and avoid instances wherein taxi drivers ask for additional fare from the passengers. Currently, the board is finalizing the rules and regulations for transport network companies, which is expected to be finished in September, after which the board will focus on the enhancement and upgrading of services of taxi cabs. Jolina, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
COMELEC Chairman Andres Bautista maintains he will not step down from his position. Aiko Miguel will tell us why.
Several employees of the Commission on Elections today expressed their support for Chairman Andres Bautista. They say that they still trust the poll chief in spite of the controversies and calls for Bautista to file a leave of absence or to step down. Chairman Bautista, on the other hand, thanks all his supporters and maintains that he will not step down. Meanwhile, a text message saying Commissioner Rowena Guanzon will strike out every employee who took part in today's show of support has spread within the COMELEC. The message also says said employee also be affected. Commissioner Guanzon, however, belies all this.
That's not true. Why will I even waste time and money to do that? I asked. When I received the text from my staff, kung magwe-wear red ba sila, I asked again, sino ang nag-request yan? I found out that the Executive Director, Tolentino, texted the department heads to wear red today because the staff of Chairman Bautista requested him to do so. I can understand if the staff of Chair Bautista and those who love him will wear red today in support of show their support for him.
Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
Meanwhile, Bacolod citizens express support for the proposed federal form of government. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
A federalism briefing and consultative forum was held in Bacolod City. This is in preparation for the proposed change in the form of government in the country. About 1,000 participants from various sectors, including the youth, vendors, media, government employees, local government units, retired police officers, and the academe attended the event. Bacolod citizens say they support federalism since the budget of the city will be increased.
Kung ako pabor ko sa federalism kahit ang budget sang nasyonal kag ang budget sang diri sa aton sa lokal na pareho na mas malabanan din makadto sa aton ang aton kita.
Kanami kay mo makuha ta doble so from 20 to 40% maging 20%, hindi na ta magsalig. For example, may isa di ka calamity sa aton matabo, kanami gid nga hindi na ta magkatuto pangayo sa Luzon sang kinanano naton.
At the end of the day, it is the local government units that will benefit the most. Kasi nasa kanila na yung power, financing, yung pera, hindi na sila kailangan mamalimos.
Also discussed in the forum were the fundamentals of federalism, its implementation, and benefits to the people. The resource speakers included Presidential Legislative Liaison Office Assistant Secretary Romulo Arugay, Assistant Secretary Gerard Salapantan, and several professors. The Presidential Legislative Liaison Office will head for Lipa, Batangas next week for another briefing. Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council has put the entire country under red alert for Typhoon Jolina. Monhok Son will tell us why.
The NDRRMC is now preparing for Typhoon Jolina. Starting tonight, the entire country is placed under red alert status.
Kapag nag-red alert status na tayo, ito kapiling na natin ang miyembro ng response cluster natin. Ibig sabihin yung ating mga ahensya gaya ng DSWD, ng DOH. No, kasama na natin yan, kasama na rin ng DOTR. No? Ito yung pagsisiguro sa mga biyahero natin.
The provinces of Aurora and Isabela are expected to be hit first by the typhoon. That is why the NDRRMC alert all provincial offices so that residents can prepare. Although some provinces are not directly hit by the typhoon, all rescue units are on standby for faster emergency response in case they are needed. The NDRRMC also reminds the public who are planning to travel for the long weekend to be cautious. The NDRRMC prohibits mountain trekking and surfing in northern Luzon. The local government of Baguio suspends mountain trekking in Sagada and in some areas.
Kung kayo po ay may plano na ngayong weekend ay magpunta northern part of Metro Manila, hinahikayatan po kayo na sana po ay manatili na lamang po tayo sa ating mga kabahayan, kapiling ng ating mga pamilya para makaiwas po tayo sa anuman pong peligro.
Trip of some sea vessels may be cancelled. That is why travelers are advised to plan their trip. The NDRRMC also reminds residents living near Magat, Lamesa, Ipo, and Binga Dam to prepare for the scheduled release of water that might increase the water level in rivers. Monhok Son, UNTV News and Rescue, Camp Aguinaldo.
The rain has moderately gotten weaker in Bicol, but some areas in Bicol region are still submerged in floodwater. Bernard Dadis will tell us why.
Based on a report released by the Philippine National Police Provincial Office 5, flooding is experienced in barangays Aurora and White in Jovelar, Albay. Roads leading to barangays Caldasa and Quintinday in Jovelar are now impassable. In Camarines Sur, knee-deep floodwater is present in Rinconada area, including Iriga City, the Poblacion area in Bao, Nabua, and several barangays in Bato. These areas are said to be parts of the catch basin in the province, which is why the level of flood water easily increase. Several areas of San Fernando, Milaor, Minalabak, zones 4, 7, 8, and 10 in Poblacion, Pamplona, and some parts of Pasacao are also flooded. Roads in Barangay Balawagan, Palsong, and Palsong Topas in Bula are now impassable. Meanwhile, the police are now searching for a missing man believed to have been washed away by the water while crossing Waras River in Baras, Nabua in Camarines Sur. On the other hand, Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office is monitoring the floods as well as possible incidents of landslides. Camarines Sur Governor Miguel Villaferte has issued a memo on the suspension of classes in all levels in schools due to the presence of Tropical Storm Jolina. Bernard Dadis, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Residents in Cordillera region are now experiencing heavy rains and gusty winds. The Cordillera Region Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council has set the whole region to red alert status as different government agencies prepare for the onslaught of Typhoon Jolina. With reports from Pag-asa of a possible storm signal number 4, authorities have closed Kenon Road from all types of vehicles and advised motorists to pass by Marcos Highway or Nagilian Road in coming in or going out of Baguio City. Mount Pulag, Mount Purgatory, and Sagada Caves in Mountain Province are now also closed from tourists.
Andito yung mga miyembro ng Cordillera Regional Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council like DPWH, DSWD, PROCOR, DFP, DIA, and the other para magbigay ng kanilang actions taken. This is our way to prepare for the threats na dala ni Bagyong Jolina. Kasi nga, so we are looking at intensifying further our coordination with our local counterparts. And
the Office of Civil Defense in Calabarzon shows its recognition to the efforts of the rescue groups in the region. Joyce Balancho will tell us why.
The Office of the Civil Defense or OCD Region 4A recognizes the sacrifices of the members of the disaster units from the barangay to provincial levels when catastrophes come. This is why the OCD 4A annually confers disaster units who show their capabilities and readiness in responding to various situations.
Gawad Kalasag is an annual search for excellence in disaster risk reduction and management and humanitarian assistance. So basically, ito ay parangal na ibinibigay sa mga grupo ng tao na nagkakaroon ng mga programang pang DRRM.
For this year, the Batangas Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council was awarded in the provincial level.
Alam nyo sir, ang disaster management ay napakahirap. Ito nagbuboost ng moral namin to strive more. Ito nagbibigay sa amin inspirasyon para lalo kaming gumawa.
Batangas City DRRMC, Carmona, Cavite, and Ternate, Cavite were accorded in the municipality level.
The next plaque of commendation is awarded to UNTV.
Meanwhile, UNTV received a plaque of commendation from the OCD for the station's contribution in giving timely and accurate information to the public in times of disasters. UNTV, with its public service advocacy, is also acclaimed for its support for the programs of the Regional Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council. The Office of the Civil Defense Calabarzon 4A once again reiterates to the public to be prepared and cooperative in the government's disaster drills. Joyce Balancho, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
UNTV and Members Church of God International visit a relocation site in Binyan, Laguna. Joan Dano will tell us why.
After rendering free medical services to over 1,000 inmates of the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology in Binyan, Laguna, UNTV and the Members Church of God International or MCGI proceeded to a relocation site in Barangay Timbao, Binyan, Laguna to bring various services to the residents for free. One of the beneficiaries in the medical mission is Jenan Tatiara and her 2 children. Jenan was able to consult a doctor about a rash on her 4-month-old child.
Hindi po, meron po siyang mga pasok-pasok. Ito po. Ano lang daw po, sa init. Sa hirap po ng panahon ngayon, hindi po basta-basta kami nakakapagpagamot, nakakapagpa-check up. Kaya maraming thank you.
Over 400 residents availed of the services in the free medical mission brought by UNTV and volunteer doctors from the Binyan Medical Society Laguna chapter.
Magaan sa pakiramdam na nakakatulong sa mga ating kababayan po.
Maraming salamat sa UNTV, sa Dating Daan, sa inyong programa na patuloy sa pagtulong. Lagi iniisip lagi ang kapakanan ng bayan, ang kapakanan ng nangailangan, ang kapakanan ng tao. para tulungan sa kanilang pangangailangan. Maraming salamat po.
Joan Nano for Serbisyong Kasangbahay.
Coming up on Y News, Texas residents prepare for projected Category 3 Hurricane Harvey.
The Thailand Supreme Court issues arrest warrant on former Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra.
And the Philippine team is still running strong in the ongoing Southeast Asian Games.
More from Y News after this break.
In other news, Perlas Pilipinas dominated its game with Vietnam in the women's basketball event in the Southeast Asian Games. This after the Philippine team beats Vietnam with a score of 118-44. The Filipina dribbles further stretch the score in the third quarter with a 53-point lead. Cindy Resultay led the team in the first half with 17 points and 3 rebounds. The win gives the Philippines a glimmer of hope to clinch the bronze medal. To date, the Philippines already have 15 gold, 20 silver, and 36 bronze medals. Meanwhile, Malaysia maintains its lead in the medal tally with 66 golds, followed by Vietnam with 42 golds, Singapore with 38 golds, and Indonesia with 19 golds.
No, Will and Rina, it's supposed to be a long weekend. But Pag-asa has advised those going north stay put in their homes.
Yes, because there's a storm coming.
So that's Baguio and Ilocos.
Yes.
I guess the weather is, again, we always talk about it, really weird. It's not the way it used to. So the best thing we can do is really stay safe.
Just stay in Manila area. Don't go anywhere.
Staycation.
Yeah, staycation.
Happy weekend, guys. Those are the reasons behind the news, August 25, 2017. I'm Angelo Castro III.
Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am William Theo.
And I'm Rina Villamor Camara, because we need to know.
We will always ask why. Thank you for watching
Y News.